If you had told me back when we were dealing with the final days of Nathaniel Hackett and General Jerry Rosberg and Russell Wilson and all that it would be just a couple of short years that this team would be on a 10-game heater? A 10-game. I'll tell you what. While I don't necessarily believe you guys when you say it's hard to win 10 games in the NFL, it is hard to win 10 in a row. So I'll give you that. How about that one, Stokley? 10 wins in a row.
You say once you get to 10, it's easy to do it every year. I mean, that's what you say, right?
Well, they've done it 2 years in a row now.
How about the Chiefs? Yeah, how's that working for them this year?
They did it for a long time.
Yeah, not this year, though. Yeah. So it is a hard thing to do. It's impressive. Very impressive streak the Broncos are on. And the fact that they've just figured out different ways to win these close football games. And then yesterday, that wasn't even it was never in doubt. It was one of those where you were never concerned about that in the second half. So they did a great job of putting the Raiders away and never giving them much hope there, especially in the second half. So great win yesterday, 10 in a row. You're sitting at first in the AFC West. You're first in the AFC with a great chance to get that number one seed, get that bye in the playoffs. You own the tiebreaker. If the Raiders lose 2 more, it's probably a wrap. If they lose 1 more, you're in a great position.
No, really, you mean the Chargers?
Yeah. No.
You said the Raiders.
Oh, I meant the Patriots.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
We got you. Yeah, listen, Stoke had a very busy weekend this weekend.
Yeah.
In the process of covering for him, I threw him under the bus on Friday.
That's what you do really well.
Yeah.
I'm going to cover for you, and then I'm going to bury you the whole show.
Well, I couldn't be nice about it. I mean, how else was I going to say you weren't here on Friday, you didn't want your business out on the street. We'll get to where you were this weekend. But, I couldn't just say, Stokley's not here today. I mean, that'd be boring.
No, I know.
Instead,
I
had fun with the idea that you got full of yourself after confronting your fears and driving in the snow, and you decided to take a long weekend. When in fact, you were where?
Oh, I was in Baltimore. Super Bowl reunion, 25th anniversary, 25th year of Super Bowl 35. So got to get back there. I haven't been back in forever since I played there. My last year in the NFL was there as a memorable one. So yeah, I mean, it was a blast. So it was great, a lot of fun.
How was Billick? You and Billick mended fences. You guys were tight. Like,
we're fine. I did call him out though. I did have to call him out. And I did tell him that. I didn't know, that Mormons, I thought Mormons weren't supposed to use the type of language that he used at me so much, and I never heard a Mormon cuss that much, So I did let him know that.
Did he apologize for all the ways he treated you badly back in the day?
No apology. No apology needed either.
No? Okay.
No,
Okay,
I don't need an apology.
You're not thin-skinned.
No.
Yeah.
I can handle it. I can take it. It made me better, made me tougher.
Yeah.
You go through that, then that prepared me for my Peyton Manning years.
Uh-huh.
So I was real prepared for that because Billick, he toughened me up a little bit.
So I gather the whole team was probably out there, on the field at halftime or something like that? Did you get individually acknowledged?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. We got individually announced, which was cool.
Nice. What kind of reaction did you get?
Yeah, they cheared.
They cheered.
Yeah, they cheered.
They remember Stoke.
Yeah.
They remember Stoke.
Right. They're great fans there. But I got to tell you, I was kind of surprised the stadium, it wasn't full. You talk about a lot on the line there. First place in the division. You're playing a rival in the Steelers. And so I don't know what's going on there.
Here's the good news, though. You guys obviously, because, the championship team came back into the stadium, came back around the organization. And, how Mike feels about that. You're going to get that, veteran return, like that jersey retirement bump.
Right.
So, how much do you think the inspiration of you guys being back led to the Baltimore win?
They didn't win.
Oh, what? But the 25th reunion of the Super Bowl, Mike.
Mark,
what do you mean they didn't win?
Mark, it's depressing. I haven't seen a Ravens team look like that and be that soft. I mean, at home. I mean, are you kidding me? I don't know, man. That was pathetic. Pathetic. But we all saw the play where Likely caught that touchdown, right? And that was to take the lead. They called it a touchdown, and then somehow, next thing you know, it wasn't a touchdown. I don't think they replayed it. It was like replay assistance. To me, how is that not a touchdown? He almost got 3 feet down in control of the football, and then they said no catch. I thought that was crazy. I still can't figure out what's a catch and what's not a catch.
Well, I'll tell you what, unless Baltimore turns it around, they're still only a game behind Pittsburgh, and they still play each other again, and nobody's really buying Pittsburgh. But I don't know. Right now, if you just look at the eye test tells you we're going to have the AFC playoffs this year with no Patrick Mahomes and no Lamar Jackson. Wow.
Yeah.
What a stunner.
Lamar, Mark, he hasn't practiced a lot this year. And so you look at that offense, they're a little bit off. He's a little bit off. There's something to be said about being out there, practicing, all off season and repping these things and having that trust and that with your teammates, with your wide receivers. And they're just a little bit off this year offensively and defensively. They just stink.
Well, let's get to the Broncos and what they did yesterday. And what really stood out, I think, for me and a lot of us who've been watching this offense struggle so much was seeing them consistently put together these long drives, 14, 15, 19 plays lasting 8, 9, 10 minutes on one of the drives. They were in a rhythm, they were efficient, and it was what Sean Payton was hoping to see all season long.
Well, it wasn't about – it was just really looking closely at the run game plan, marrying it with the boots and nakeds, and then having some at-the-line stuff where we hurried it up. So it was a combination of those things. It was the antithesis of the last plan. Sometimes it's hard. You watch it, and, our job's always to – put our guys in the best position, and I don't know that we did a good enough. We didn't the last time around. Now, we had a lot of penalties. We made a lot of mistakes, and so we kind of went a different route this time around.
Listen, Mark, I'm not going to sugarcoat this, and I'm not going to just blow this off by saying, well, it was the Raiders. Because you know what? The last time they played the Raiders, it looked awful. It was 10-7, and Sean said it was a terrible game plan, and we've watched this offense for the last couple of years really blow hot and cold, and for them to be and blow hot and cold against bad teams. So for them to go out and put together an efficient offense that could put together these long drives 3 times, something we haven't seen from this offense in the time that Bo's been here and teamed up with Sean. So I don't care if it came against the Raiders. The fact that they put that kind of showing out there offensively, I thought was incredibly impressive and incredibly encouraging about where and how this offense is developing.
Yeah, efficiency. That it comes down to efficiency, and there's a couple of things that have been really good. Bo Nix talking about, hey man, I really feel like I'm an expert in the stuff that we run. I really know where my answers are. I really know where my outlets are. I really know where my help is. And then to see RJ Harvey, in the last 2 games get a little bit more opportunity, and then to see him get this opportunity to yesterday and to watch him excel. And I know it was 17 carries and it was 4.4 yards a carry, but there wasn't like a long breakout like a 42-yard run that skews the numbers, man. That was a legit 4.4. That was a legit grind it out. That was legit put your nose in there and get us an ugly 4.5 yards. And he did that on a consistent basis to the tune of 17 carries. And then, of course, what he does in the passing game. I thought that was a big-time performance and a big-time kind of growth indicator for the running back RJ Harvey. So I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I mean that would be nice if he could provide what we saw yesterday down the stretch. Looking for that consistency in the running game since Dobbins got hurt. And if he can provide anything like that, that would be huge for this football team. But I like the fact that Sean sits there and says, hey, you know what? Our game plan stunk last time. We didn't do a good job. We didn't put the players in good enough positions to be successful last time we played them, and we wanted to do something different this time, and obviously they did. just being efficient offensively. I love to see that from a young quarterback, taking what's there, and when you do get a chance to be explosive, then take shots. But if they're just going to play soft zone and give you the underneath stuff, be patient. And that's not an easy thing to do for young quarterbacks.
Bo Nix said it was good to be able to give the defense a break this time around.
You sort of see that there wasn't a whole lot of explosive plays, so that number we'd like to see go up. But at the same time, it gave our defense a good day. I'm not gonna say off because they played well when they were on there, but definitely not as much as they typically are in a game. So that's good for them. They've earned that and deserve it.
It's funny, guys. Over the last 3 games, Bo has only thrown 1 touchdown pass. And he's got 1 interception. And yet the eye test tells you you're looking at a different quarterback. Does not seem as sped up and chaotic and frenetic, all those words that we're using when he would be jumping around in the pocket, leaving the pocket early. It seems like if it wasn't a shot down the field, he was missing some guys underneath that were easier completions. Tell me if you can, what's changed these last 3 games? How have we got to a point where he went from looking like a rattled quarterback at times to one over these last 3 games who Stoke seems very poised. He looks comfortable in the pocket. His footwork is a lot better. He's seen the field really well, and he's being really patient, taking easy completions. What clicked 3 games ago?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's something that he was working on, right? I mean, you watch the film of yourself and you say, hey, I need to get better doing this. So what do? You practice it. Reps. Game slows down. You're just more comfortable. Point of emphasis for him. So I'm sure he went to work on it. And, I keep referencing, he told Aikman and Joe Buck that, that was one of the things that he wanted to work on. It was his footwork because it was like kind of all over the place, and you can tell that he has worked on it. And all of a sudden, you look up, and he does. He looks a lot more calm and composed in the pocket. So you got to give him a lot of credit for saying, okay, what do I need to improve on? I need to work on this. I need to get better on this, and he's done that during the season. So yeah, but it was fun to watch yesterday. He did a great job.
He really did, man. The whole offense did a great job, and there was nothing. Like, I love the fact that you can put together time of possession and that you can put together long drives and you can finish those long drives with scores, and you can do that without a huge explosive play in the middle of one of those drives. You're not getting a 40-yard chunk. You're getting maybe 12-yard or 14-yard chunks, but that is to me, that's the essence of being a really good offense. And yesterday they were really good. And I know it was the Raiders, but still, that's something we haven't seen, and we certainly didn't see that the first time around when they played the Raiders on a Thursday night.
Yeah, I just am very encouraged by a performance like that yesterday. For the detractors who are saying, well, it was dinking and dunking. It was only 212 yards, 31 completions, only 212 yards. I just think that if you look at the great quarterbacks, they make the boring look entertaining. They make the efficiency entertaining. They put together games where you're watching and it doesn't seem like there are many big plays, and yet you look up at the end of the day and it's a big offensive showing. Every great quarterback, think about the quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls, even Patrick Mahomes. Okay? Even Patrick Mahomes can make the boring look fun. So I think once you get to a point as a quarterback where you can take those easy completions and you're content with those easy completions and you understand the value of those easy completions, Stoke, when you get to that level, now you can start talking about this guy and potentially how great he can be, because that's what all the great quarterbacks, you played with one in Payton Manning. I mean, you talk about a guy who loved the boring.
Yeah, I mean,
and understood what it means.
That's what great quarterbacks do. You're going to take what they give you, and if you want to give us underneath stuff, we're just going to pick you apart, and we're going to be efficient, and we're going to make you pay. and we're going to have long, sustained drives, and that's what they were able to do yesterday. You love that from a young quarterback. That shows you growth. So usually young guys are going to start pressing. They want to make a big play, and you know they're going to pass up the underneath stuff. They get bored. They don't think it's the right way to do it. But watching Bo go out there yesterday and have that type of performance, you know, that's awesome. I mean, that's next level stuff. So you got to be able to win in different ways in the NFL. Sometimes it's a little bit boring, and you got to take the underneath stuff. Sometimes you got to try to, you know, be more aggressive. And yesterday was one of those games where, hey, let's be more conservative. If they're going to give us these 3, 4, 5, 6 yard passes, let's have a good running game, and let's just take what they give us. So great job by the Broncos offense. Obviously a much different, you know, game plan to Sean Payton's point that he mentioned than what they had in the prior game. But they went out there and they executed at a high level.
And I think the other thing is, to your point, Stoke, not only did Bo take what the defense gave him, but so did RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey also fell in love with the boring. RJ Harvey also did what is required to be a great, not a good, but a great NFL running back. And that is, man, churn 4-yard gains. Keep us on schedule. Don't try to bust out on a play that's not there and all of a sudden have us in 2nd down and 12. And to me, that was the biggest takeaway in his game yesterday, is that, man, that dude kept going positive, kept going hard-nosed runs, and kept the offense in a situation where the whole entire playbook was open for the offense. And that was a huge difference in his game, and that made me really excited about what he was able to accomplish yesterday.
On the RambleSod.com text line, Alan in Aurora. I'm sorry, Alan, you're just not getting it. Great. Now we're celebrating Sean Payton turning Bo into Kyle Orton. You got to understand this. You have to understand that the kind of performance you saw from Bo, and I'm not putting Bo anywhere in the same stratosphere as these guys I'm going to mention, but the way Bo played yesterday is the way that Peyton Manning played most of his career, is the way Tom Brady played most of his career, is the way that Drew Brees played most of his career. Taking the easy stuff that you could easily just say, oh, all he is a game manager. Well, you know what? Peyton Manning was a game manager. Tom Brady was a game manager. Drew Brees was a game manager. I'm sick and tired of hearing the term game manager be used in such a derogatory way. If you look at the great quarterbacks down through the years, you know what they all had in common? They were all game managers, and they all played games and had an approach on offense like Bo Nix had yesterday. So if you want to worry about Bo Nix being turned into Kyle Orton, I would encourage you to feel more like, hey, Bo Nix showed that he possesses and that he can do some of the things that the all-time greats have done.
No, I like the fact that you can spread the football around, too. You know, you see Cortland Sutton had 6 catches, Harvey 6 catches, Pat Bryant 4, Little Jordan 3. So, you know, I mean, Troy Franklin 3, Troutman 2, Prentice, you know what I'm saying? And that's when it's you make it difficult on a defense. You get the running game going. You can be patient. You can be explosive. We know that. But you spread the football around like they were able to do yesterday. That's next level stuff. So I don't think there's any negatives about what we saw yesterday. I don't even want to go down that road. If you think there's any negatives about that type of performance, you're missing the boat here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what the next level is? The next level to this offense, this would just set it apart. If Prentice could get 4 or 5 more touches.
Oh!
Wow, look at you from Cleveland.
Chicago.
No, Chicago. Oh!
From Midway.
Wow, the Windy City.
Yeah.
That's all we need for Prentice.
Hey,
4 or 5 more.
More touches, and this offense is going to be on fire.
Hey, after what I saw yesterday, give me more Adam Prentice, man. I love it. Day number 310 of the